Okay, can you all hear me? Okay. If you could just write in the chat, that'd be helpful.
I hear you.
Thank you. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and get started. I am recording. So if you guys, we'll put it on our YouTube page. We'll send out the recording as well. Just because the PowerPoint is too large to send through an email. So it's just easier to record it and send it out for you all if you need to rewatch it, or for some reason someone misses. It's a way to stay up to date on all things AmeriCorps for our program. So thanks for hopping on. I hope you guys are having a great week. Glad to still be having some sunshine. I'm enjoying the cooler mornings. My allergies don't like it, but that's okay. And that's besides the point. All right. So first, we're going to talk about just program updates and reminders for all members, so that no matter which program you're in, if you're a direct service member or if you're a VISTA member, all of the information that I'm about to cover is for everyone. So we've split it up at some point, but right now we hope that everyone is listening. We know during our in-person orientation training at the, in mid-August, we had a little sign-up sheet just to gauge people's interest in volunteering or doing a service project in Eastern Kentucky to help with some flood relief. So we have been talking and kind of coordinating with one of our AmeriCorps partners, Housing Development Alliance in Hazard, Kentucky. And we have nailed down a date at the end of September. So on September 30th, we are looking to do a flood relief project with HDA. The time will be, we're hoping for everyone to arrive on site at HDA's office at 9:30 a.m. And the project will probably take until about 4 p.m. that afternoon. It's only a one-day project. This isn't a requirement. But if you are interested, we are asking that you contact me or Caitlin by next Wednesday, which is September 21st. Our office will provide meals and mileage reimbursement for your travel. We know that there's not going to be a lot of parking options at HDA, and also at the sites that we could be, volunteering at. So carpooling will be a must, and we'll help work out that just depending on, how many people are wanting to come and join us. But we will be there. Some of HHCK staff has also signed up to volunteer. Some of the volunteer activities that we know of right now are, mucking out houses at the distribution center, helping, being a personal shopper for families and individuals that are there. Also helping the front desk at the distribution center, and also being a section sorter at the distribution center as well. So those are some of the volunteer activities. So if this is something that you are interested in volunteering and coming with us, or joining us, we would love for you to be there as well. Just please email or text or whatever me or Caitlin by Wednesday the 21st, so that we can get a final number for our group size to HDA, and so we can move forward with just planning. They need to have those numbers about a week out, so that's why we're asking by Wednesday the 21st. yeah, I think I covered everything regarding the project. And again, it's not a requirement. In the spring, when we do our spring service project, that would be a required project that members will be joining us with. But this one, again, it's just a volunteer project. And also your travel to Hazard, your travel back from Hazard, and all of the time spent on this project will count towards your hour requirement. Just thinking about our direct service members. So I see someone's hands raised. If you have a question, I'm afraid to click on it because I'm afraid my screen will exit. So if you're who raised your hand, you can either write it in the chat or unmute yourself. Sonia, I think the issue is maybe the computers there at Safe Harbor. I feel like that always happens. So I'm not sure what the issue is. I'm sorry. I don't have a better answer. Okay. The second thing that we'll talk about is AmeriCorps 101 and prohibited activities training. This is a virtual training that our State Service Commission, Serve Kentucky, requires all direct service members to complete. So if you are a direct service member, this is a virtual training that you will need to hop onto and participate in. I have listed the upcoming dates through the month of September until mid-October. It is a 2-hour training. Serve Kentucky does keep up with attendance, so they will send out to program staff who was on the call. This is a really good training. I know we covered prohibited activities during our orientation. However, our State Service Commission is requiring all members to participate in their training as well. It's just a good refresher too. So that way there's no kind of blurred lines. And then also they do talk more in detail just about AmeriCorps and just like the timeline and everything like that. I have added the dates that are listed on the PowerPoint to the Homes for All Google Calendar. It does say AmeriCorps. I'm realizing I put this underneath all program updates. Vista members, you're more than welcome to participate in this training, but it's not a requirement for you. So sorry for the confusion there. I will send out reminders about the training. So probably the day before, just letting you all know, hey, if you haven't already, hop onto, a call or a time that works with your schedule. You do get to count that hour or those 2 hours if it is after your typical service schedule. So the 6:30 to 8:30. I know that's not late. That's not something that if one of the other times works best with your schedule while you are on site, that's fine too. But if you were to do that 6:30 to 8:30, you would still be able to count that time towards your day and your hour requirement. But we will send out reminders on the Google Calendar in the description. The Google links are right there. So you can just click on it real easy and hop onto the call. You don't have to participate in every date that is listed. You just need to choose one time on one date that works best for your schedule. And all of the times are listed in Eastern Standard Time Zone. So we know that we do have members placed all over the state. So that's why we wanted to make sure that you all knew that. If you have any questions about that, just reach out to me and we'll see what's worked. I didn't want to put all of the training dates on there because I don't think that they're all listed on our Basecamp calendar, but yeah, just at least enough to get through, halfway through October, that should be plenty of options for people to choose. And also just let your supervisors know that this is something that you need to participate in. So if they can, block 2 hours of your time so that you can hop onto one of the calls. And again, not all of the dates listed, just choose one that works best with your schedule. Serve Kentucky launch training. We have opened it up to both of our programs. So Vista members, this isn't a requirement for you to participate, but we would love to have you join us on these 2 dates. They're going to have some great content on both days. What we know so far is the dates are set in stone. It is October 26th and 27th. It is an in-person training, and it will be at Eastern Kentucky University's campus over in the Perkins building. So as things get a little bit closer, we will send out, directions and addresses and stuff, but we do know this information. The training will start at 11 a.m. on October 26th, which is the day 1 of training. And then it will start on 9:30 on the 27th. So there's time to travel and commute that morning. Since the training does start at 11 a.m. If you are farther in the state, and when registration opens, we will, make sure that you have a room to stay on the 25th, so the night before, if you have a very long commute. So if your commute though is, 2 hours, there's still time for you to commute to EKU on the morning of the 26th. And then we'll make sure that you have lodging that night and check out on the 27th. So Caitlin and I will be doing a training on the 27th. You guys don't have to register for it. There's going to be a lot of great sessions. So obviously choose what you're most interested in learning about. The training will end at 4 p.m. on October 27th. Same for the 26th. So there, the training on the 26th is kind of a half day, a little bit more than a half day, and then the 27th will be a full day. Again, your commute to and from and the time spent at the trainings will all go towards that hour requirement if you are a direct service member. And same for Vistas that want to come join us. Just coordinate with your supervisors. And, we want you to join. We want you to meet other members across the state. Again, it's not just for our program, it's for all AmeriCorps programs in Kentucky. So as we get the agenda and registration sent to us from EKU, you all will be the first ones to have it. We'll make sure that you get all of those details. And I would say we'll have that information next week. This is something that we talked about at the in-person orientation. And if, you're just starting into your position, I know we did like a virtual orientation yesterday, but I didn't mention this on that call because I knew I'd be talking about it today. This is a free benefit for both of our programs. If you are enrolled in either our Vista program or our AmeriCorps program, this is a benefit that you guys have. It's at no cost to you. We really want you guys to utilize this. It might help with burnout or whatever the case may be. It's just, the members assistance program that we have for you all, it is free. Like I said, it's 24/7. There's unlimited telephone mental health counseling. And I wanted to add that this is also for your household members as well. So if as long as they are a member of your household, they can also access this benefit, which I did not know that until Friday. And so that's why I wanted to bring it back up to you all. It is your participation or someone in your household's participation is voluntary, and it is confidential. There are translation services that are available. They have, over 140 different languages for translation services. The provider is All One Health. And when you are registering, you would use either Homes for All or Homeless and Housing Coalition of Kentucky for the program name. So you can't put HHCK. It's got to be all written out, or Homes for All. When accessing your benefits, you can go to the website, www.mylifeexpert.com. The password that you will enter is AmeriCorps, which is all lowercase. That annoys me, but that's okay, because we know there's a capital A and a capital C. But the password is AmeriCorps, and then that's when you're going to create your login. So you can add the website to your phone. I think it does create an app. We had given out hard copies of like the flyer at the member orientation training that does have the QR code, but the website will work as well. You can, you'll have access to video counseling, chatting, also phone support. There's other, articles and resources or webinars that you can have access to when you set this up. You also can choose to set it up through phone. So the 800 number is on the screen as well. And again, it is free and it's confidential. And it, you guys have this the whole time. You have this available to you the whole time you're enrolled in our program. So really want you guys to take advantage of this. Some of the other services, I know I've already mentioned mental health counseling, but they do have life coaching or work-life resources and medical advocacy. So if there's any medical bills or something, they can't offset those costs, but they can at least walk you through, bills or, things that might have that you might have going on, or even, doctor's appointments and scheduling and stuff like that. So we think that it's really awesome. Again, it is also offered or available to your household members. So we hope you use it. Site visits. So we will do our fall site visits and we'll start scheduling those for October and November. We're hoping that they will all be in person, but we are, we're very flexible. We know you and your supervisors are doing a lot of great things and very busy, and you stay very busy. So we'll make it work. We just love coming and visiting you all, where you're serving, seeing what you're doing. And we just like to, check in. It's one of the funner parts of just getting out and seeing how everyone's doing. We will send information to your supervisor regarding scheduling. So we'll send out dates and times through, October and November. So that email will go to your supervisor first, and then I'm sure that they'll, talk to you, and you guys can sit down maybe when you're doing like a check-in or meetings that you guys, should be doing with your supervisors, and figure out a good date that works, that you both will be in the office, or maybe don't have so many meetings scheduled, or whatever the case may be, so that we can come and see you all. We'll be splitting it up. So Caitlin will do some site visits and I'll do some site visits. So, you may see one or the other. So we just wanted to let you all know that's kind of what's going on as well. Mileage reimbursements. We wanted to let everyone know. I know, like, returning members, in our direct service program, any reimbursements, like, for example, the end of year training that we had in early July from your all's previous service year, you guys received, your mileage reimbursements through direct deposit. All mileage reimbursements for any events or service projects or trainings that you are joining us with will be sent in the form of a check. So that's for both programs, Vista or AmeriCorps Direct Service. That's how reimbursements will be sent from here on out. So please make sure that we have your mailing address. Make sure it stays up to date. If you were to move, we really need to make sure we have that on file, because we would hate, that, for example, if you were to join us on September 30th in Hazard, we want to make sure that we get that reimbursement sent to the correct address to you so that you can deposit it. So that's just, moving forward for the rest of the program year, especially as we are offering more in-person options and trainings and projects. Just letting you all know, those will all be by check. Okay, let me take a drink of water really quick. All right, so if you're a Vista member, this is not regarding you. So, this is for our direct service members. If you are working directly with clients at your organizations, this is you all. Performance measure reporting. So I know during both, whichever type of orientation you received, we've talked about performance measures. In person, I know things got a little chaotic because they came down and they were breaking down the wall while we were training. And so we lost people's attentions, and that's totally fine. They came a little bit early, and I was like, well, we'll talk about it again on the 15th, just to kind of, if there was any information that just kind of got lost in translation with everything that was going on, we still have time to talk about it. So our program as a whole, our performance measures for the year is we are hoping that 2,500 individuals are served by our program. That's our program as a whole. That does include adults and children. And we're hoping that out of those 2,500 individuals, 1,000 have been housed. So that could be either they're obtaining new housing, they've transitioned into permanent housing, or they have been able to maintain their housing through eviction prevention, rental assistance, utility assistance. So that's our program's overall goal for the year. We also hope that we, as a program, recruit, train, or manage 550 volunteers. So you don't have a set number to reach when you are serving, but we don't want you to underreport. We also want to make sure that you are reporting on The households that you have like a substantial engagement with. So if someone calls you and you only have one phone interaction, that wouldn't be someone that you would fill out a service form on. But if it is someone that you've completed an assessment with, you meet with maybe monthly, you're doing, housing searches for, that's somebody that you're going to report on. Or if they are receiving a housing voucher from the organization that you're serving at and you do case management, that would be those households would be who you would report on. We can answer or we can set up calls if you have specific questions regarding your position and just how things maybe operate and work at the organization. That's totally fine. But everyone in our program, in the direct service program, will be reporting. I skipped on to the second slides. Like I just said, everyone does report. Doesn't matter what type of position you are. It is an attempt to capture all of the information that you can. We hope that you are filling out the service forms or adding the service form into maybe a process that you already have in place. So, just adding the service form into maybe you do, like a VSBA or like an intake assessment, and you can add the service form into that paperwork that your site already has to have. Again, just remember that it is someone that you are actively, working with, not somebody that you just have a random phone call with. And at minimum, on the service form that we did send out again yesterday, on the first form, you will create a code name. We do not need the first or last name of the individuals that you're working with. And then the start date that you started working with the person or the household. That has to be within, it can't be before your start date. So our program year, as you know, started on August 1st, ends July 31st. If you started on August 15th, then you wouldn't have any service forms dating before August 15th. Okay. You'll list the number of individuals and children. So adult 1, adult 2. If there's one child, child number 1. And then the household type and the services that you are providing to that household. You can ask us. You can email me or Caitlin to mail you hard copies if you would like for us to do that. They are also on the HHCK website. And after the PowerPoint's over, I will bring up the HHCK website because I forgot to add that. It is underneath Homes for All AmeriCorps. And then there's a current member resource tab. And that's where those service forms are located. It's you can download them to the computer that you use and type in the information that way. And then also you can email us. We did email them out yesterday again. So there are multiple ways that you can and have access to the reporting forms. Same with volunteer reporting. If you're managing, training, or recruiting volunteers, you'll do this monthly as well. We just need the general information. You'll put your name, your service site, the volunteer month. So right now the only month we've reported on is the month of August. You'll put or make or create a volunteer group name or ID. You're going to include the number of volunteers. And then if it's reoccurring or episodic, and then you're going to total up the number of hours that group serves. So it will be the number of volunteers multiplied by the number of hours they served with you and the organization. That would be so like the example we gave is like if there's 5 volunteers, you're going to and they served for 6 hours, then you're going to multiply that by 6 to get that total of 30 hours for that group. And again, these aren't just like random volunteers. They need to be doing either a housing service or a supportive service. So again, that's our primary focus of our program. So we want to make sure that these groups and these volunteers are doing services that align with what our program is focused on. So if you have any questions about that, like I already said, just reach out to us. We'll set up a time to talk. We can answer any questions that you might have. And we want to do that early so that there's no type of confusion as the year goes on. Just some takeaways for the volunteer reporting. You're going to make sure that you use the same volunteer group name or ID if it's episodic or reoccurring. We want to make sure that we avoid any duplication. So if they are a reoccurring volunteer group, you're only going to report on those volunteers one time a year. You're going to also just update the number of hours that's served at that one time that you report. And I already mentioned this, but you only report on the volunteers that you have either trained, recruited, or managed that are providing a housing or financial service. I know I said supportive service, but that kind of goes hand in hand. Oh, sorry. I thought I was looking in the chat just to see if we had any questions about that. So basically, in summary, if you are reporting on clients, we ask that you have your forms sent to me or Caitlin by the 15th of the month for the previous month. So if you started at the beginning of August and you have started working with individuals or households, we need those forms to us today. You can email them, you can take a picture and send it to me. You can mail them to me. That's fine. We just need to have them by the 15th of the month for the previous month. And that's how it's going to work until July 31st of 2023. Same with volunteer forms. We ask that you have that form to us by the 15th of the month for the previous month. You can scan it and email it, take pictures and text it. You can even mail it to us. And then, as the months go on, you can download from the HHCK website in print, or you can download them to your computer and type it in, or you can contact me and Caitlin, and we can mail you hard copies if you would like it to be sent that way. And if you have any specific questions, we can set up a time and talk about anything that's going on. Okay. So all of the Vista members on the call, all these updates are regarding you and kind of what's happening, and reminders as well. So direct service members, this isn't anything that you need to worry about regarding your position. Okay. Impact stories. So if you're a returning member or you're currently still in your first service term, you've already learned about impact stories. You've been doing impact stories, but I know at our in-person orientation, I ran out of time and we didn't get to go over impact stories. So if you're a Vista member and you've seen this impact story report open in your account, you're probably like, what the heck is that? And so we're just going to put it into the monthly training and we're going to talk about it. And then If there's any questions, we can talk about them as well. This information that I pulled is directly from a Vista PowerPoint training, like at the federal level. So this isn't something that like I've made up. This is from Vista at the federal level. So impact stories. Basically, an impact story does depict a scene that shows how your service has impacted your community. It is very brief. It's about a paragraph long, so 4 to 5 sentences, and you're really going to focus on key information. Again, it's brief. It's not meant to take up a lot of your time when doing this. But what an impact story does is they came up with this little acronym for what impact stands for. So it informs the community, it measures the impact, it personalizes the impact to connect with the audience, it activates the community to take action, and cultivates new partnerships and teaches others how to make an impact. So that's what impact stands for while you are serving on a Vista project. In your brief impact stories, you're going to try to answer these questions: where, what, who, how, and if there are any results. Not every month will necessarily every one of these questions be answered, and that's okay. We know you get to different points in your project, and that's fine. There may be some like months that you have a lot of numbers to share in regards to answering the result question. So that's fine. This is just kind of to help focus on key information when you're doing the impact stories. You're going to tell us how you are addressing the problem. And basically what that means is you're going to tell us what you did. What were you working on? What was completed? What type of capacity service resulted in the impact? Did you do fundraising? These are just examples. Fundraising, grant writing. Did you get awarded a grant that you wrote? Did you recruit and train 100 volunteers? Or are you designing new programs? So those are just, again, some examples, but you are going to really highlight on what you are doing, the services that you're doing, and how it addressed a problem. Impact stories are important. They do help tell your project story because every Vista member in our program, you're doing a different type of project. It is specific to the organization that you are serving with. And so like every impact story is different, and it does tell your project story. It also highlights your project's impact. It does help our program and even the organizations that you're serving at build new support and also establish new partnerships. It is a good way to engage with community leaders. It helps our program recruit. It can also help your sites recruit as they move on to a new project year. They can pull, if they want, they can pull these impact stories or ask us to share the impact stories that you've submitted and show, this is what our last Vista project worked on. And we pull these too when it comes to recruiting to talk about what our Vista members have done in years past. It does, like I mentioned, help with new members and also volunteers. And it just helps us talk about the Vista program and the work that you're doing throughout the state. I included two examples. There are two different examples. So I'll let you all read through it. Vista members, when you're done, just write in the chat so I have an idea. So in this example, this member identified himself as a Homes for All Vista member, or she identified herself as a Homes for All Vista member. She also identified where she was serving. And this one, she served at Adventure Serve Ministries, that's located in Jessamine County. She wrote that she was awarded, she helped write a grant and was awarded $5,000. And then she also explained what that money is going to be used for, and how it relates to the mission of Adventure Serve and her project. So this one is, kind of a cookie cutter example, because this person did work on a grant. They were awarded the grant, and then she explained what that was going to be used for. So here's another example, and this was a different project. Oh, I only included one. I'll send out the other example. Sorry, I thought I put both. But the other example was a member who served at Greenhouse 17, that's in Fayette County. And he helped with a huge fundraising event for Greenhouse 17. And they raised several thousands of dollars, and that helped expand their shelter. So that was just another example. I can't remember all of the details off of the top of my head, but I'll be sure to share that in the recap email. So impact stories are due on the 20th of every month while you are serving on your project. So you do submit these in America Learns to us, so if you started in August, we ask that you submit your first impact story, by the September 20th. We do send out reminders as well. We'll include that in, our monthly emails, and on the Google Calendar, and the Homes for All news page in America Learns as well. So you have different ways to kind of remember or put on other devices that you use to keep up with the impact stories. We also include your impact stories when we are recompeting for our grant to continue our VISTA project. So again, people at the federal level, Congress, these are used to make sure that we can continue our project and can continue serving our communities. I think that's the last slide. Yes. So I'm done talking. I'm going to mute myself. If you guys have any questions, you are more than welcome to unmute and ask. You can ask them in the chat. So I'm going to be quiet now and open it up to everyone.
Hey, Holly. I just had a quick question. It's kind of unrelated, but my what is it called? I sent you an email about it, but my America Learns account, I can't access it. I
Yeah.
was just hoping you could help me. I clicked on the link that you sent me, and it just didn't do anything. So if you could resend, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that right after we get off this call. I saw your email right before before I got on Ring Central. So I already have it down to I'll send you an email and it will basically like reset your password, and it should work. And I hope it does. And if not, I'll have to reach out to America Learns and figure out what the issue is. But hopefully that works.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I was reading the chat and then forgot to unmute myself. If you don't have any questions, you're more than welcome to hop off. We will send out, just basically just a summary email with everything that we covered. So please look at that. It will have the recording as well. And be thinking about if you want to come join us on September 30th for the, down in Hazard, as we do some volunteer work with Housing Development Alliance. And what I forgot to mention about that is where it is a one-day event, there's really no available lodging right now due to just how many people who are currently in the area from FEMA, long-term volunteers. So that's why it is just a day. It's just one day. So hopefully when we do our spring service project, that's not the case. So if that was one of your questions about lodging and stuff, we're not doing hotels the night before because that's just, it's limited in that area. And also they just, they're filled right now. Sonia did have a good question in case you are at a site that has more than one AmeriCorps member. Sonia asked, if Shannon and I work with the client, can we send one form or do we need to report separately? So you and Shannon are going to have to split who each person is going to report on so that there's no duplication. Does that make sense? So basically what probably would work the best is if you and Sonia, maybe at the beginning of the month, like if you're working with new people, or you and Shannon figure out who's going to be working with who. And if that person were to come to Shannon instead of Sonia, Shannon can be like, hey, you're actually working with Sonia. That might be a better way to kind of keep that interaction easy to kind of follow, as well as reporting it to our office. I hope that makes sense. We just don't want to duplicate. And we know that, things happen and people ask questions to different people, and that's fine. But whoever's working with that person the most would be the person that would need to report on that household. Another example, when I was a member, there was another AmeriCorps member at my site, and she worked primarily with the ladies in the shelter, and so I reported on volunteers, so the volunteer groups that would come in, you know, on the weekends or whatever or whenever. That's how I would report. So I would do volunteers, and she would do the household clients. So I don't know if that's the case. I can't think off the top of my head, Sonia, if that's going to be the case for you all, but you'll kind of just need to figure out who's going to report on who. I'm trying to see if Beth is still on here. Vista members, I don't know what's going on with the member goals form still in America Learns. I'm still trying to work on that. And whenever I figure that out, I will let you all know. I don't know what the issue is. It's never happened before. So we'll get it worked out, and we'll just extend the amount of time that you have to do it. It's just a 2-question report. Nothing that will take up a lot of your time. And with that, I'm going to wrap up. You guys can report 1 hour on your timesheet for today under AmeriCorps Homes for All training. So I'll let you all get back to the rest of your day. And you guys have a great Friday and great weekend. We will talk to everyone soon. Thank you.